All right, welcome back. You're right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB as we are broadcasting from Radio Row in Tampa for the Super Bowl. Joining us now, Mark Schlereth, a guy who was known by Chiefs fans. I don't know if they liked him, but certainly known by Chiefs fans, a former Denver Bronco, played for Washington as well. Mark, certainly appreciate you joining us, man. How are you?
Jason, I'm doing great, man. Great to be with you.
Before we talk some football, Pathogen Solutions, I'm curious as to what the heck this is.
Yeah, well, Pathogen Solutions has created a shoe sanitizing station that eliminates 99.999% of the pathogens, the germs, the nastiness that you track into the facility. So, think about it from a radio studio standpoint. I don't know if you've been in the studio, but, I was doing radio from Denver where I'd be in one room, my partner would be in the other room. I hated the lack of connectivity.
Yeah.
So you stand on the unit for 8 seconds. It sanitizes your shoes from E. coli, coronavirus, staph, MRSA, you name it. We wear the masks, we wash our hands, and then we track the crap right in on our shoes, right?
Yeah.
So this is just another level of security to make sure that we're safe. And it really is about bringing us back together. And, whether it's a sporting event, whether it's the locker room, they'll use several of these units down in Tampa this week to keep the players safe and some of the different events. So really, really cool. You can check them out at path03gen.com.
Path03gen.com. We'll write that down in case anybody listening wants to go and check that out if they missed that. Path03gen.com. Mark Schlereth is our guest. What do you make of this matchup? Just general to start off, and maybe we'll hone in on some finer points. But this matchup, you got two really good offenses, and of course the star power with Brady and Mahomes.
Yeah, well, there's no question about that. I think that the key matchup to me more than anything else is the Tampa Bay defense. I did 4 Tampa games this year, and Tampa Bay defense is exceptionally fast. Like, to me, they're the fastest team, and I didn't do every team, but I did a bunch of teams. They were the fastest defensive team that I've watched play, and the most aggressive. Their ability to blitz you, especially first and second down early, trying to steal a possession or two, that's what they want to do. And they have great linebackers, great just their ability to get you before you're ready to throw the ball. It's second to none. And on top of that, they will press, they will disrupt routes. Like the whole philosophy of Todd Bowles, who was a teammate of mine in Washington, their defensive coordinator, is we're going to bring pressure. We're going to hit you. We're going to create big plays. Now, we may give up 3 explosives, but we're going to get 8. And we're going to win that battle by 5. And that's the philosophy. And, they'll live by the blitz. They'll die by the blitz. If you pick it up, if you disrupt their blitz, if you disrupt the timing through snap count, cadence, motion, and all the thing Kansas City does, then you've got a chance to make big plays over the top and win a football game. One of the things that's interesting, I think it's really comes down to red zone. If you keep Kansas City from scoring them 60-yarders or those 40-yarders, you get them into the red zone, it eliminates their speed advantage that they play with. So you take and shorten that field. Nobody can beat you over the top. You can play more condensed form of defense with your heels at 8 yards, not worry about giving up the big play over the top. And now you've got a chance to kind of neutralize some of that. So, I keep thinking about this game. Can you be 31-31 with the ball last? Like that or right. 28-28 with last possession? Because whoever eliminates scores in the red zone and gets the ball last is probably going to win this game.
Mark Schlereth is our guest. You were talking about that defensive line. Well, the Chiefs obviously have moved some people around on the offensive line with losing Eric Fisher. You played that position. How difficult? Rimmer's going from right tackle, moving to left tackle. You're taking Wiley at right guard, moving him to right tackle. And now they've had a couple of weeks, but how difficult is that to move those positions? You're essentially having 3 different spots against the Bucs than you did when you started the Bills game.
Right. It's exceptionally difficult, but they've made it look like it's not. Yeah. And I credit that not only to the guys that they have, the players that they've groomed and the players that they've gotten ready to play. I also credit that to Patrick Mahomes, because when things do break down, which they will, Patrick Mahomes is just unique in that I always call it the 70-30 rule. 70% of the time you're on schedule as an offense, 30% of the time things break down. He is so good on schedule. I mean, he can eviscerate you on schedule, but he's even better when things break down. Like it's not fair. He can scramble to his right or left, throw it left-handed, have somebody draped around his ankles, falling down and throw a 37-yard dime sidearm across the field and lead the receiver perfectly. I've never seen anything like it. So he's got that ability to overcome some of those things. But I think the big key to me is coaching. And I think Andy Reid does such a phenomenal job of showing you formations, motions, personnel groupings, and make you communicate as a defense with all the different things they do and make you play a half step slow, make you play on your heels to a degree. And to me, great coaching really eliminates some of the issues that you have from a personnel standpoint. So, like, I always look at teams that give up 6, 7 sacks and everybody's on the offensive line and how crappy the offensive line is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's crappy coaching. And so the big thing is, how many times can you eliminate issues? Like the great coaches in this league want to attack other people's weaknesses, but not at the expense of exposing their own.
Okay.
So if that weakness exposes something that we don't do well, I'm going to scrap pile it and attack something else. The great coaches do that. The crappy coaches in this league are going to go after your weakness regardless if it exposes an issue that you have. Andy Reid won't expose issues. He just is not going to do that. So, and you've got so many damn weapons over there. It's disgusting. So, like, he'll be able to figure out, where to go with the football.
Visiting with Mark Schlereth, and we've talked about how long it's been since the team won back-to-back. It was the Patriots. Well, before that, it was you guys in Denver winning back-to-back. So what the Chiefs have done in getting back there, you experienced it going as the reigning champs, and certainly in Kansas City, we knew the Denver Broncos reigning champs and winning the Super Bowl. How difficult is it to go through that year as the hunted with the bullseye and all of that stuff to get back there?
Yeah, I think it's exceptionally difficult. And obviously everybody wants, you're going to get everybody's best. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that we talked a lot about is boredom. When you're better than everybody else, and I've said this many times, and I'll give it to you too. They are Globo Gym from the movie Dodgeball. We're better than you, and we know it. That's the way they are. And I think, like I talked about with the motions and the formations, and they get down to the goal line and they're doing the spinny thing, in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. They're getting in some 4x1 diamond formation and shovel passing it to Travis Kelce. They're like, they do things that they pick up a play from the 40s. And and I think some people think that's just organizational arrogance. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a way to keep my players engaged, because my players and my scheme is better than the people we're facing. So every week, I don't want my guys to be bored. Yeah. I want them to be challenged mentally. I want them to have to study their game plan and have to be challenged in what we're doing, and almost to look forward to, oh, here comes the special, right? We've got 4 specials in, and now we're running one in the red zone, and now we're running one off our goal line, and now we're running one in goal line. And guys, I mean, it makes you focus, and it gives you something to look forward to, and it eliminates boredom when you're better than everybody that you play. And again, I don't like football and genius, to me, are mutually exclusive events. You don't coach it or play it if you're a genius. Like you slap a thin piece of plastic on your head and ram it into other people. That's not genius. That's stupidity. But the bottom line is, I think Andy Reid and his staff have done a phenomenal job of having a great football team and not letting some of those things that can kind of squash your excitement, like keeping excitement and keeping guys locked in. I think it's been great.
It's really interesting you say that, because we've wondered, as those that have never played it at a high level, to, is there boredom? Can you just sort of go through the motions? And it's like, well, you're a professional, you're paid to do this. There's a level of professionalism that you take But it certainly has felt at times that the Chiefs were just like, all right, they took a big lead. Let's shut it down. Let's go to next week. We've taken care of this team, and they've won close games. But so boredom is an actual thing that maybe the Broncos in your second go around had to fight.
Absolutely, and it's human nature. Let's none of us are robots. We all have emotions and feelings, and we're human. And we play a game for a living, and it's exciting to be able to do that. But at the same time, it's what fascinates me about Tom Brady. Yeah, like the most fascinating part of Tom Brady to me is, I mean, 10 Super Bowls and all the success and all those different things, is his ability to overcome human nature. Because you think about it, how are you not sated by success?
Yeah.
How do you continue to grind? How do you continue to go out and play? How do you continue to be self-motivated? How do you continue to grind and keep everybody else accountable to working hard? When you've had that level of success, that's the most amazing thing in the world to me, because I know one thing. I've learned plenty about myself in tough times. I've learned how tough I can be. I learned how much I can put up with and all those things. But I've never learned anything about myself in the good times because I'm too busy patting myself on the back, right?
That makes sense.
And Tom Brady just does not have that about him.
Yeah. Two quick ones for you. We've been asking everybody this scenario. You've got the ball at your own 20-yard line. You're down 4 in the Super Bowl, 1:45 to play and 1 timeout. All right. Who's leading your drive, Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady?
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Yeah. It's almost unanimous. And a lot of it has been that quick.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just that the way he's done that at the end of games, it's just been phenomenal.
Yeah. Who wins the game?
I've got Kansas City.
Okay.
That hurts me as a Bronco, but I'll go.
Real recognizes real, I guess they say.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly right. Pathogen Solutions, Path03Gen is what it is.
Yeah, path03gen.com, Pathogen Solutions. Getting us back to normal.
Absolutely. Would love to do that. Mark Schlereth, really appreciate the time. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure, Jason. Take care, buddy.